Scrooge McDuck and the Infinite Dime is a new Marvel comic, one shot. Though I do not think this will stay a one shot, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But it is a one shot, and let's get into why this comic is significant and why I think you should know about it. Why I think you should pick this comic up as soon as possible. So this comic is a larger size issue, and if you don't understand comics, so a standard issue of a comic is $5 or $4, depending. Usually 5, sometimes 6 even. That's about the average going price. The larger ones are of a larger size and shape, like this one here, and they're $8 or $10, whatever price. They usually don't go above 15. But yeah, so these are really cool as collector's pieces. But here's why I think this is a really cool big deal. So Marvel is obviously owned by Disney, but Disney, has been starting to do some more interesting stuff with Marvel Comics. But this is really cool because Scrooge McDuck has been a character for years in comics. Before he was even an animated character. He was, most famously, he's from DuckTales and stuff. But for the most part, he was straight up just a comic character. And he's a big adventurer and all this stuff. But this is the first time Marvel's ever published anything about Scrooge McDuck by Marvel. And there's this little piece here written by some of the writers and people involved with this story, and they talk about their love of Scrooge McDuck, where that came from, what they first read, and all that stuff, and why this comic means so much to them and what it is. It's really touching, and then you read through it, and it's just a really great Scrooge McDuck story that encapsulates everything wonderful about this character. Basically, the plot of this issue, I don't want to spoil too much, but basically, Scrooge McDuck has a bitter version of himself from an alternate universe who really is just bitter. He's obsessed with money and basically starts stealing these other alternate versions of Scrooge McDuck's money using their dime. Now, if you don't know Scrooge McDuck lore, Scrooge McDuck's dime is the story of how he got this dime from it was his first time ever earning money, and it's something he cherishes, and it's his prized possession because it's a symbol of his beginning of his wealth, basically. And so basically the plot of this book is them these alternate versions of Scrooge McDuck trying to show this other version of Scrooge McDuck that, behind all the money, Scrooge McDuck as a character really is not his money. He's an adventurer. He's a family man, to Donald and the boys. And that's what really brings him joy, and that's what really makes him who he is. And that's kind of the plot of this book. So basically, the heart of this issue is that it is a Scrooge McDuck story about what makes Scrooge McDuck. And you can tell how much this book is so much love for the character in its storytelling and in its tone and everything it does. And it's got so much wonderful artwork here that is just fantastic. I mean, it doesn't try to mimic the style of older Scrooge McDucks. It very much feels like a new Scrooge McDuck story, but while paying tribute to the past. And it's all fantastic stuff. It's very well written. And then in the back, we do have a classic old school Donald Duck type story here, made to look like older Donald Duck comics, right? Very cool stuff right here. Very wonderfully done stuff. And it's a very fun story, very classic Donald Duck stuff. But then you get some tributes to some of the older Scrooge McDuck comic covers and some little info about them and stuff. And then you get a sneak peek of something special they're doing for Donald Duck's 90th anniversary, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, I think this is just such a great comic to have as a Disney fan. It's Disney taking, one of their properties that they own, Marvel, to help bring light to people who maybe have never read a Scrooge McDuck comic before, and show them how wonderful this comic is. It is so well done. It is filled with so much love and heart and effort into it, and I just think it's fantastic stuff. I think if you're a Scrooge McDuck fan, you have to get this, and you have to read it. It is just so fucking phenomenal. Just great stuff. It just came out last week at the time I'm recording this video. I want to have this review up Saturday, so it's been out a week, so hopefully you can still find it. I imagine if not, I believe they're doing some second printings of this. I believe it sold really well, and I hope that we get more stuff like this. Now, the other thing I want to mention is they do share on the back here, and you get a sneak peek of this in the book, a what if story of what if Donald Duck became Wolverine, and they're also doing a what if Donald Duck became Thor. These are one-shot issues, both meant to celebrate Wolverine's 50th anniversary, and I believe Thor's 65th anniversary. I could be wrong about that. And those are really cool, and it's celebrating Donald Duck's 90th anniversary, so clearly there's some cool stuff happening in Marvel Comics. I think it's really cool stuff. I think it's really time to start paying attention to Marvel Comics again. I think Marvel Comics has been slacking the last few years, and they've been putting out some kind of stuff not so great, but this year they put out some really great stories that I've been really into. The Spectacular Spider-Man, love that stuff. And this is another great example of what they've been doing with the brand of Marvel Comics lately, having fun with it, and I really, really, really fucking like this.